Hi everyone, my name is Christina from the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina, and I'm here with another Paint Couture Creative Team video. Today I'm going to be working on a primitive quilt block wood kit, which is available on my website. We're going to start by separating the pieces, and then I'm going to stain the frame pieces using Dyke Brown Glaze. This works so well as a stain. It's water-based, so it's easy cleanup, and I love using it under my paint. Next, we're going to separate all these little pieces and I'm going to apply them to a sticky board that I made using painter's tape so that we don't lose all of the little pieces. Next, I'm going to take the surface and I'm going to apply a coat of French putty. It is a mineral paint. Once it's dry, I do sand it lightly with a 320 grit sandpaper, and then I go back in with a second coat. And then we're going to go ahead and set that aside. I don't have to worry about getting the entire thing because where those scored lines are, those are where we're going to glue those other pieces onto once they're done. Now I'm going to move on to the other pieces and I'm going to start with the crow. I'm using pitch black chalk paint. Just one coat does it for this piece. For the pear, I'm going to use Modern Rattan and that is from the mineral line. I'm sanding in between coats for a smooth finish. Then I'm going to grab the basil, and at first I accidentally paint the stem. So I just wipe that back and I continue with the leaf. And then I paint the stem with some Dyke Brown Glaze. For the crow's beak, I use Tuscan Sun, and for the little legs, I use Espresso. Those are both mineral paints also. So then moving on to the box, I use Garnet Chalk Paint. I do the lid and the box, and then I dry it, I sand it, and then I apply a second coat. And then we're going to go ahead and do those little pieces of the barn star. And I'm going to paint those with a cosmetic sponge, and I'm using the color carbon. Once all the pieces are painted and dried, I go back and I sand everything with a fine grit sandpaper to give it a soft, smooth finish. Now we're going to use another cosmetic sponge, and I'm using pitch black to paint the outside frame and the inner frame pieces. I have small areas. I like to use these cosmetic sponges. It doesn't make the paint, you don't apply it real thick. You just do it in very thin coats. At this point, I just want to remind you to be sure and subscribe to the Pankator YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out when they upload a new creative team member video. With the surface board ready, I grab a stencil. I got this from Echo Park and I'm using Farmhouse Linen Chalk Paint. I'm taping the stencil down so it doesn't shift as I'm working, and stencil the entire surface. The stencil brush I'm using is from Essential Stencils. Okay, and then I'm going to use this checkerboard stencil, which is also from Echo Park, and I'm going to apply that to the box. Once everything is all dry and sanded, I go in with my Dyke Brown Glaze just to darken up the painted pieces. Just want to give it a little bit of a, I'm really going for a worn old primitive style with this piece. So I'm darkening the edges with the glaze, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to apply dead flat, which is my favorite top coat, all over the surface. I'm doing this before I apply the glaze because I am going to put the glaze all over this and then I'm going to wipe it back. Before I did apply the top coat, I did take my sander and I sanded down where I stenciled because I want it to be worn looking. I don't want it to be perfectly stenciled. So once that's done, I wipe it back to where I'm satisfied with it, and now it's time to glue. Get all those pieces and I clamp it down. Very simple. It's almost like putting a puzzle piece together. It's very satisfying. Once the glue has time to set, I give the entire piece one last coat of the dead flat to seal and protect it. And that's it. My primitive quilt block wood kit using Paint Couture products. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.